CBS Television Sports presents the National Football Conference Championship game between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Brought to you by the Foundation for Full Service Banks, on behalf of all full-service banks in your area. And by Ford and your Ford dealer, who bring you the better idea cars for 1971. And by Allstate Insurance Company. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Olympia Beer, brewed in Tumwater, Washington, because that's where the water is.
Good afternoon. I'm Ray Scott. And a very special greeting to those of you who are viewing our game in Alaska, our game that is about to begin. You know, I can't think of a game with more dramatic overtones than this upcoming clash between the Cowboys and the 49ers. What these teams have done on their way to this game today has been beautifully chronicled by Jack Whitaker, and Pat Summerall has talked of some of the personnel. I would like to dwell for a few seconds on what I believe the game will hinge on, namely on mental attitude. The Cowboys, a team that has been so very close to greatness, but that elusive big game has always escaped them. The 49ers, on the other hand, they have known frustration, but of a different kind. A frustration of season after season of being told they had potential, but never able to win that big game. And so I think that we have today a game with dramatic overtones and a game that I'm looking forward to so very much. A game I believe will hinge on an elusive thing known as mental attitude. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll be ready for the start of today's championship game in just a moment.
Maybe the nicest thing about going away is coming home. Home to quiet walks with a friend. Talks about things that don't really matter. Or maybe just laughing over a beer. We make Olympia for times like these, and we brew it with the best water we know, the naturally pure artesian brewing water of Tumwater, Washington. It's the water that makes it Olympia.
Bringing your wife to the baby doctor. You think about your new responsibilities, like life insurance. How are you going to afford enough? There's sort of a responsibility gap. Allstate can help. If you're 25, for example, $30,000 worth of decreasing term life insurance costs less than $11 a month. Allstate makes it all a lot easier. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 48 degrees in San Francisco. Yesterday there was a big wind. Today there is practically none. And Pat, in all of my years in coming to this great area, I can't recall two more beautiful days than we had yesterday and again today.
It is just spectacular here at Kezar Stadium. Perfect, I guess, just ideal weather conditions for any kind of football game. And one as big as this one, well, it has to be just a great asset to have a day like this. Field, by the way, is in excellent condition, a fast track.
The early rains this week kept off the playing surface, of course, by a tarpaulin, and the ground crew has just done a beautiful job. So we have 48 degrees, practically no wind. And right now, the co-captains are going out onto the field to meet with our officials, Tom Bell, the referee, the umpire, Lou Palazzi, the head linesman, George Murphy. The indication there that the Cowboys won the toss and elected to receive. The line judge is Bill Schleibaum, the back judge, Ralph Vandenberg. The field judge is Tony Scover. We have two alternates here today, George Renix and Gordon McCarter. In other words, just everything has been done to provide a perfect setting for this clash for the National Football Conference Championship between the San Francisco 49ers, who have just huddled with their head coach, Dick Nolan, and across the field, Tom Landry, the head man of the Dallas Cowboys. Our color guard is in position. The national anthem will be sung by well-known entertainer Johnny Mathis.
And here today as the special guest of the 49ers to sing the national anthem is San Francisco's very own Johnny Mathis.
The announcement made that this is Johnny Mathis's home city. So we invite you to join us in our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The anthem, by the way, was played by the Red Garter Band from San Francisco. Well, there's an indication as to which way the wind is blowing, Pat, as the balloons went up in the air. It'll be Dallas, let's see, with a bit, they'll have a following wind, the Cowboys will, in the first quarter, but not that much of a wind. Bruce Gossett will kick off. The deep men for the Dallas Cowboys. Number 43. There is a 33. It's Cliff Harris, yes. Cliff Harris ordinarily would not be back there. And Mark Washington, the young speedster, defensive cornerback. The ball was teed up, blew off the tee. Oh, there it goes again. There's Mark Washington. Over to his right, Cliff Harris. Two of the Cowboys' defensive backs. Capacity crowd, and we're happy that you're with us. The up man, and I think he went off his knee and went out of bounds, was linebacker Steve Kiner. So the Cowboys, with a following wind, will start 1st and 10 from the Dallas 33-yard line. Craig Morton, number 14, will start at quarterback. We expect to see Dwayne Thomas, number 33, and Walt Garrison, number 32, at running backs, and they're there. That's Garrison right behind Morton, and Thomas behind him. This is Thomas, and he's met behind the line by middle linebacker Frank Nunley. The Dallas Cowboy wide receivers will be Rucker, 88, and Hayes, 22. The tight end is Mike Ditka on the upcoming play, number 89. Rucker left, Hayes right. Ditka tight end on the left side on 2nd down, 11. Morton to Ditka, incomplete. Hit very hard by middle linebacker Frank Nunley. It'll be 3rd down, 11.
Throughout the afternoon, you will see a lot of Frank Nunley because the 49ers, like the Dallas Cowboys, play a defense which protects their middle linebacker so that the only offensive blocker who can really get a good shot at him is the offensive center, and he sort of has to run him down from behind. But for the most part, Nunley and Leroy Jordan, the Dallas middle linebacker, will be names that you'll be hearing a lot of.
Hayes and Rucker both to the left on 3rd down, 11 from the Dallas 32. A penalty marker is down as Morton
Cedric Hartman is a man, number 86, who plays for San Francisco on passing situations for this very purpose. He's being blocked by Ralph Neely. Good coverage in the San Francisco secondary. Morton had to step up in the pocket, and Hardman got inside Neely.
Referee Tommy Bell measures off the penalty. Intentional grounding. A loss of down is also involved. And so the ball goes back to the Dallas 17-yard line, where it is 4th down and long yardage. And watch now, if you've never seen him before, number 44 of the 49ers. He is back around the San Francisco 40-yard line. Bruce Taylor, an exciting, brilliant punt return man. Whitby. Fair catch. There'll be no run back this time. 41-yard line of the 49ers. San Francisco has the ball for the first time. And we remind you that this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. John Brody sends Witcher, number 18, to the right. Washington, number 18. Number 88, Witcher. 18, Washington, both wide right. His running backs, Willard and Cunningham. Willard, 2 yards. Now let's give you the rest of the San Francisco offensive lineup. The tight end is number 89, Bob Windsor. The interior linemen are Len Rohde, 76, Randy Beisler, 65, Forrest Blue, 75, Woody Peoples, 69, and Cass Banasak, number 79. Gain of 2 for Willard. Second down, 8, 49ers. From their 43, there is no score. Washington goes left and Renfro moves out with him. Witcher to the right, Adderley covers him. This is Willard, a block from Beisler. Coming up will be about a 3rd and 1 as Willard is out of bounds at exactly midfield. Hit out by Charlie Waters of the Dallas defense.
Dallas is a very, very difficult team to run against. In fact, to score against. It's been now some 21 quarters since they last gave up a touchdown.
On 3rd and 1, Dick Nolan takes Washington, the wide receiver, out, and he adds Ted Kwolek, number 82, a big second-year tight end. 3rd and 1 at the 50.
And I can't help but remember 2 weeks ago against Oakland in a similar situation when John Brody had 3rd and 1. And he faked to Ken Willard on a dive off to the left side of his offensive line and hit Bill Tucker with a touchdown pass. This time the other running back is Cunningham.
Willard is nailed for a loss back at the 49-yard line of San Francisco. Number 75, Jethro Pugh. Number 63, Larry Cole. And linebacker number 54, Chuck Howley. So on a loss of 1, it is 4th and 2. Next time San Francisco has the ball, we'll identify that Dallas defensive unit. But right now, Steve Spurrier is in to punt on 4th and 2. And number 22, you will see Bob Hayes. And you will see also for the Cowboys, number 30, Dan Reeves. Well, that's the first we've seen them shift into a punt formation, Pat.
First time.
Can you get the ball?
Great punt. Hayes at the 8. Out of bounds. 16-yard line, Bob Hayes, and that's where Dallas has the ball. With the score, Dallas nothing, San Francisco nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Baltimore, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Chicago, Cincinnati, Phoenix, Cleveland, Columbus, Dallas, Fort Worth, New York.
America not only flies to big cities, but to medium-sized cities and small ones as well. So next trip, think of American. Thank you.
Louisville, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Providence.
REA Express rides again.
Hi-yo, REA, away! REA Express rides again. Hi-yo, REA, away!
REA Express rides again.
REA Air Express, the fastest delivery of small shipments known to mankind. IOREA, away!
The Dallas interior linemen, you'll see Ralph Neely, 73, John Nyland, 76, Dave Manders, 51, Blaine Nye, 61, and Rayfield Wright, 70. Pettis Norman is the tight end, number 84. First and 10 Cowboys from their 16. This is Garrison to the 20.
Tripped up by Kruger. Final tackle by Bell.
With second down and about 7 coming up, the San Francisco defense, Bill Belk, 72, Roland Lake, 60, Charlie Kruger, 70, Tommy Hart, 53. They're up front. We'll pick up the rest of that unit in a moment. Dallas second down, 7 from their 20, first quarter, and no score. 11:40 left to play in the first quarter. That was Rucker in motion. This is Garrison, and he's close to a first down at the 27-yard line. Now there's Tom Landry. He's talking now with Pettis Norman. Mike Ditka was in on the last play as the tight end. Now Norman will come in with the play choice here, as it's the first down of the game has been registered by the Cowboys at the Cowboy 27.
This change of tight ends is something that really helped to turn the season around for Dallas. During the first part of the year, whoever the quarterback was, Roger Staubach or Craig Morton, they called their own plays. But Tom Landry just felt that he wanted to take some of the pressure off them, and he's been shuttling the tight ends, and since then, Dallas has been tough.
Rucker right, Hayes left. Garrison again to the 30. Gain of 3. Ran into middle linebacker Frank Nunley.
When it comes to stars, nothing can match the lineup of celebrities and athletes on next Sunday night's Super Comedy Bowl. From the world of showbiz, there'll be John Wayne, Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Jack Lemmon, Charlton Heston, Artie Johnson, and many more. In the world of pro football, there's Joe Namath, O.J. Simpson, Dick Butkus, Deacon Jones, Emerson Boozer, Roman Gabriel, and many more of them also. So don't miss the Super Comedy Bowl next Sunday. It's at 8 o'clock and 7 Central Time.
With 10:48 to play in the first quarter, Walt Garrison has been injured. He is being administered to, already checking into the huddle, his replacement, number 42, Claxton Welch. Now let's identify the rest of the San Francisco defense. The 49er linebackers are Jim Snydecki, number 58, who moved in when Skip Vanderbunt was injured. Frank Nunley, number 57, Dave Wilcox, 64. At the corners for the 49ers, you will see Bruce Taylor, number 44, and Jimmy Johnson, number 37. And deep in that secondary, the veteran Rosie Taylor, 25, and Mel Phillips, number 32. Garrison has to be aided from the field. He is replaced by Welch. It is 2nd and 7 Cowboys from the Dallas 30. Lakes has replaced Edwards at a tackle for the 49ers. Hayes to the left. Rucker to the right. This is Welch, 2 yards. And the ever-present Frank Nunley was there, number 57.
And what some fantastic games we have seen him play throughout this year. Just spectacular. Looks like he might be shaken a bit now. Nunley is number 57, leading. Replaced by Ed Beard. And there have been what could turn out to be 2 critical injuries already to Nunley for San Francisco and Garrison for Dallas.
Dennis Coleman is in as a receiver on the left. It's 3rd and 5. A tremendous rush by Hardman. As a result, the pass short of its target by Morton, and it is 4th and 5 Dallas. So now the Dallas punter takes over. That means Ron Whidbey. He averaged just a little over 41 yards per punt. And he's kicking to number 23, Fuller, number 44, Taylor, back at the San Francisco 30. 9:50 left to play in a scoreless first quarter at Kezar Stadium in San Francisco. It will be the 49ers ball at the San Francisco 31-yard line. With the score, 49ers nothing and Cowboys nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
back in 1902, we had a great idea. Build more breweries. So we did. At Bellingham Bay and Port Townsend in Washington, at Salem, Oregon, and one in San Francisco. The beer we made in these breweries was good, all right, but it just wasn't the same Olympia we brewed back home. So we shut them down. What made the difference? The water. The pure, natural, artesian water found only at Tumwater. Today, there's only one Olympia brewery, at Tumwater. And Olympia is one of the most popular beers in the West. Proof that when it comes to beer, it's the water.
.9:38 left to play in the first quarter. The 49ers have the ball for the second time. They have yet to register a first down. It's at the 31-yard line of the 49ers. Witcher right, Washington left. Brody behind Willard. That ball seemed to, it didn't spiral like it ordinarily would, Pat.
I think Brody threw it sort of sidearm to get it around Jethro Pugh, who had broken through and was putting heavy pressure on. That's the play we've seen the 49ers get good success from. Faking a sweep and then throwing to one of the deep receivers. That time Witcher was well covered. He was the prime receiver. And Brody just tried to dump it off to Willard and had to throw it under the arms of Jethro Pugh.
That's the first pass Brody has thrown today. He again has Witcher to the wide side, the right, and it's 2nd and 10 from the 49er 31. This is Cunningham. And he's out across the 35 to about the 36 or 7, where he is met by Charlie Waters and Bob Lilly. And as Cunningham returns to the 49er huddle, let's set this Dallas defense for you. George Andre, number 66, Bob Lilly, 74, Jethro Pugh, 75, and Larry Cole, 63. They're up front. The linebackers are Chuck Howley, 54, Leroy Jordan, 55, and Dave Edwards, number 52. Now both Washington and Witcher are wide right on 3rd and 5 from the 49er 36. This is Willard. First down, 49-yard line. Tackled by linebacker Leroy Jordan and Cornell Green from the secondary.
This is something which might resemble a very, very quick screen pass, this last play that John Brody just ran. He just dumped the ball out to Ken Willard, and he already had his offensive tackle, Cass Banaszak, and offensive guard Woody Peoples out in front. Good yardage.
Between the 48 and 49-yard line of San Francisco. And again, Washington and Witcher are wide right. The fake was to Willard. The pass is for Washington. He's at the 9-yard line. First and goal.
Here it is again. It's a strong formation. It looks like Brody is working right into the strong part of the Dallas defense. But as we've seen Gene Washington do so many times this year, he doesn't mind double coverage. He doesn't mind a zone. Nothing seems to be able to stifle him. What a tremendous year he had.
So Brody now is 2 of 3 for 55 yards. And remember, Dallas has not given up a touchdown in 21 quarters. First and goal from the 9. This is Willard. Oh, he met Lilly at the line of scrimmage, and there is no gain. And Jethro Pugh was there, too.
Sometimes it's too bad that you can't really see what goes on in what's called the pit, the space between the offensive line and the defensive line. There's one matchup today, one pairing that would be worth just watching right by itself. That's between Bob Lilly, number 74, who just made that tackle, and the man across the line from him for San Francisco, Randy Beisler. That ought to be some battle all day long.
Second and goal from the 9. Washington left and Witcher right. Willard. No. Linebacker Dave Edwards picking up Ken Willard coming out of the backfield, and it's incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and goal at the 9.
Brody was able to get just exactly the matchup that he wanted there. Edwards is the strong side linebacker for Dallas. He plays usually in front of the tight end. Howley is the weak side linebacker. If one of their linebackers does have to cover a back coming out of the backfield, they'd rather have Howley do it. So in terms of matchups there, Brody accomplished just exactly what he wanted to do. He had his running back Willard being covered by Dave Edwards.
You'll see in the Dallas secondary, Mel Renfro 20 and Herb Adderley 26 at the corners. Charlie Waters 41 and Cornell Green number 34 deep. This is a 3rd and goal. Blitz. Cornell Green was blitzing, and the pass intended for Willard is short. And it's 4th and goal, and in comes the place-kicking unit. And the Cowboys defense has still that tremendous record intact.
The crowd was a little bit unhappy with Brody, but as you pointed out, Ray, Cornell Green, the safety man, was blitzing, and Brody had really no chance. He did have Willard open, but he was lucky to even get the pass off without losing yardage. That is something, by the way, that Dick Nolan, this 49er coach, was telling me before the game that he felt was one of the real big differences in Brody this year and years past, was that he had the ability to get rid of the ball without taking a loss and at the same time not getting it intercepted.
Gossett, 21 field goals, has just hit another one. The 49ers are on the board, and they lead by 3-0. We'll be back with San Francisco's kickoff in just a moment.
This is Ford's Maverick, the simple machine. Simple to own, drive, and service. And this is one of the strongest, quietest Fords ever built, the 1971 Ford LTD. But small cars aren't big enough for some people, and others don't need a large car. So Ford has something right in the middle you should know about. Torino. If you like small car prices and the sportier way small cars handle, but you don't want to give up the smoother ride of a big car or room for 6, remember, Ford's got something right in the middle. Torino. And you can take your choice of sedans, wagons, sports roofs, hardtops, even a convertible. When you want some of the things from a small car and some of the things from a big car, you want something right in the middle. Torino. All 14 models are available at your Ford dealers now. Ford gives you better ideas.
Mark Washington there on the left is one of the deep receivers, and over to his right is Cliff Harris. There's Harris. Gossett kicking into the wind. 6:31 left in the first quarter. The 49ers have scored first on the field goal. That ball's really hanging. One of the up men, Charlie Waters, brings it out to the 31-yard line. That wind's a lot stronger than we thought it was.
Next weekend, Sunday, January the 10th, National Hockey League action returns to the CBS television network every Sunday afternoon throughout the conclusion of the Stanley Cup playoffs. You'll see all the great teams in this fast-paced sport every Sunday through the Stanley Cup playoffs. On January the 10th, it'll be the Philadelphia Flyers against the Montreal Canadiens at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Bob Hayes wide right as the Cowboys line up in the I. Rucker in motion left. This is Dwayne Thomas. And the Cowboys have crossed into 49er territory at the 48-yard line, where Mel Phillips moved the brilliant first-year running back out of bounds.
Not a very complicated play, just straight ahead. Neely is out in front with a good block, but watch the strength that this guy possesses as he just pulls through the tacklers. Doesn't look like he's all that fast, but nobody seems to run him down.
Strong candidate for Rookie of the Year, Dwayne Thomas. And on the other side of the line is a young man by the name of Bruce Taylor, who will be considered for that honor. First down, Cowboys at the 48-yard line of San Francisco. Here comes Rucker. This is Claxton Welch, who came in when Walt Garrison was injured a little while ago. Good gain on first down. And it'll be second down and 2 as Bruce Taylor made the tackle.
Should point out that both Frank Nunley, who was injured a little bit earlier, has returned to the game, and Walt Garrison, who on the play before was hurt when he was hit by Nunley, is up and around on the Dallas sideline. So apparently neither of those two is hurt very seriously.
5 minutes and a few seconds left to play first quarter. Dallas 2nd and 2 at the San Francisco 40. Welch close to a first down. Forward progress inside the 40. Edwards 74, Phillips 32, Hardman 86. They stopped the play. It is third down and about a foot away from a first down.
It's been said for years, Ray, that Dallas is a team that likes to finesse. That they're not a strong team in any particular offensive facet of their game. But since they've become such a good running team, Tom Landry says now we're no longer a finesse team. We're now a tough team. That's a big difference in their character over the last few weeks.
First down for Claxton Welch at the 36-yard line. Claxton Welch, second year, 5'11", 203 from Oregon. So the Cowboys have a drive going now, and it's 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 36-yard line. Morton has gone to the air 3 times. He has yet to complete a pass. Welch has carried 4 times for 14 yards. 48 yards on the ground so far for Dallas. It's Rucker who went in motion. Morton looking deep. In and out of Rucker's hands at the 15-yard line.
Morton had to do a little dance to get up in a position to throw that ball, but he'll never throw one any better than that. He had to zip it in the middle in between defenders, and he got that done. Rucker just couldn't hold on.
Rucker, by the way, first year from Boston University. I believe it's Boston University.
That's correct. He's a very close friend of Bruce Taylor, who's the San Francisco defensive back.
So Morton now has passed 4 times, looking for his first completion. 2nd and 10. This is Welch. Penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage. Now we'll watch for a preliminary signal, a holding indication from one of the officials. That's the preliminary signal. There was a gain of 6 yards on the play. So a blow to Dallas as the 6-yard gain is nullified. The holding occurred along the line, 15 yards from there. Back to the Dallas 49-yard line, and here's referee Tommy Bell with the signal. So Dennis Holman now comes in, number 24, one of the Dallas wide receivers. The Cowboys must reach the San Francisco 26-yard line for a first down. So it is 2nd down, 25. Rucker lines up wide right. Oh, that looks like that's that wishbone the way they lined up. Hayes went in motion. We have another marker down. This is Claxton Welch. And Jimmy Johnson, the cornerback, and Dave Wilcox, the left linebacker, stopped the play. But remember, a penalty marker is already down. Preliminary signal offside, San Francisco. The gain on the play was about 5 yards. So the advantage would be in gaining the down as far as Dallas is concerned.
Dallas, you'll notice on every different play, shows some kind of different front. They'll put different guys in motion in opposite directions on one play to the next. They are trying, as Kansas City tries to do so many times, to create some little confusion in the defensive secondary. Some little moment of indecision where somebody in that secondary might make a mistake.
Rucker lines up to the right. Jimmy Johnson picks him up. It is 2nd and 20. Hayes in motion. This is Welch. Inside the 35 to the 32-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6 or 7. Mel Phillips made the tackle, and Rosie Taylor.
We should call that play the draw play, which in the beginning of the play looks like a pass. in a situation when the defensive team is anticipating pass, and you figure you're going to get a hard pass rush from the front four. That's when it works to the greatest degree of success, as it did then for Dallas.
The Dallas place kicker, of course, waiting in the wings, Mike Clark. It is 3rd and 7 at the 49er 33. Broken down beautifully by Mel Phillips. Intended for Bob Hayes.
Phillips would not normally be covering Hayes. He'd be covering the tight end. But again, in those different type of Dallas formations, sometimes you get a mismatch like that. And that's part of the purpose of doing it.
Mike Clark, 18 field goals, 27 attempts. A slight angle. It'll be an attempt of just under 40 yards. Reeves holding. About a 39, between a 39 and 40-yard attempt. With 2:39 left to play in the first quarter, 49ers are leading by 3-0. Way off target to the right. It's a touchback, and the 49ers will get the ball. So 2:34 left in the first quarter, and the 49ers have the lead and the ball now.
On Sunday, January the 24th, immediately preceding the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl game, CBS will present a 30-minute special on the NFL All-Pro team. Glenn Campbell will MC this 30-minute special with football's greatest stars meeting some of the top names in show business. That's at 3:30 Eastern Time.
Wide right is Witcher. Herb Adderley brings him down at the 26-yard line. On a gain of 6, it'll be 2nd and 4 San Francisco. Brody now has passed 6 times. He has completed 3 for 61 yards.
This is another thing that makes Brody so very effective. He gets back and gets set up and gets away from the center so quickly. And he has the arm to throw those sideline passes like that. And against man-to-man coverage, as Dallas uses, that can be very effective.
This is a 2nd and 4, and this is Washington working against Adderley. First down, 34-yard line. Adderley made the tackle. Leroy Jordan came over to make it very emphatic. First down, 49ers.
As fast as Washington is and as quick as he is getting down the field and running that pattern, and as we pointed out a second ago, how quick Brody can get the ball out there, it's almost impossible for a linebacker to get out and help and take the short zone away from those receivers and help out underneath for the cornerbacks, Adderley and Renfro. That can be a very effective pattern all day.
Brody has Washington now to the left side. Penalty marker down as Willard comes straight ahead. It looked to me like Brody might have been trying to take advantage of the fact that the lineman had jumped into that neutral zone.
That is something that he and Forrest Blue, his offensive center, have worked on. If they see somebody jump offside, Brody is always ready, and he snaps the ball before they can have time to get back.
Well, it's a pickup of 5 yards on the offside infraction. The ball is now at the 39-yard line, and it's 1st and 5 San Francisco. Time running out in the first quarter. 1 minute and 20 seconds left. The 49ers are leading on a field goal by Bruce Gossett. Tough yardage for Doug Cunningham. No more than, well, about a yard to the 40, where it'll be 3rd and 4. Dave Edwards made that defensive play for the Cowboys.
2nd and 9.
The crowd is responding to the announcement by the public address announcer that it's 2nd and 9. Out to the right comes Witcher. Adderley picks him up. Washington to the left, working against Mel Renfro. This is Willard, and he has a first down at the 46-yard line. I believe that Cornell Green was blitzing again that time, wasn't he, Pat?
Yes, he was, right up in the line. He misguessed Brody's count a little bit. He wasn't able to hide the safety blitz as much as you'd like to make it effective. There's Cornell Green, 34, who had been a cornerback before this year, but now is the Dallas strong safety.
Willard has carried 5 times for 14 yards. The gun means we have reached the end of the first quarter with the score. The San Francisco 49ers 3, the Dallas Cowboys nothing.
Look, we rent an apartment. Why do we need insurance? Yeah, we have a sofa, a rug, and some chairs, and TV. Of course I've got clothes. And my wife, does she have clothes? And all our bedroom stuff. But look, why do we need insurance? Like I said, we rent.
Allstate's low-cost renter's insurance. Because you've got a lot to lose. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Welcome to American Airlines, sir. You, sir. Excuse me, sir. Your baggage has been checked through to New York, sir. Gate 7.
Number 7. That's gate number 7.
We've made flying American Airlines so simple, all you have to do is drive up to our doorstep. So when you have other things on your mind, it's good to know you're on American Airlines.
With Pat Summerall and Jack Whitaker, this is Ray Scott at San Francisco's Kezar Stadium. In the first quarter, the 49ers had the ball for 15 plays, 89 yards. Cowboys, 14 plays, 61 yards. First down, 10, 49ers at the San Francisco 46-yard line. Washington is out wide to the left side. It's Cunningham and Willard behind Brody. Batted down by number 63, Larry Cole. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
This is something that Tom Landry had talked about during the week. He said he did realize, and so did all of the Dallas players, that John Brody would be very, very tough to rush. That is, in terms of getting him down off his feet before he could get rid of the ball, because he gets rid of it so fast. But they did say that they'd like to hurry him and possibly be able to bat some down. You might recall that Minnesota knocked down 3 of his passes last week. So that's something they're striving for, as well as trying to get him before he throws it.
New tight end, Ted Kwolek, number 82, on 2nd down 10. Fake to Cunningham. Willard with the ball. He's close to a first down. Around the 45-yard line of the Cowboys. The fake was to Cunningham. The pass was to Willard. The ball is at the 44-yard line of the Cowboys. First down. Leroy Jordan made the tackle, along with Herb Adderley.
That's that same quick screen that they used before to good success to Willard. And somebody with a whale of a block on Cornell Green. I saw his heels fly up in the air, close to the Dallas sideline.
Change in the secondary. Cliff Harris, number 43, has moved in. And he has replaced, I believe, Cornell Green. Yes. This is Willard. He's at the 38-yard line. A gain of 6 before linebacker Chuck Howley. There's Chuck Howley, number 54, made the tackle. Appeared to have sustained a slight injury to his left arm or wrist. Howley did.
If you look at that Dallas secondary, you just know exactly how John Brody is thinking now. That's Ken Willard leaving. I think he's got a problem with his shoulder pads, but both of the Dallas safety men are now rookies. With the absence of Cornell Green, it's Cliff Harris and Charlie Waters, 41 and 43.
Number 24, Jimmy Thomas, has replaced Willard. It's 2nd down, 3.5. And Cunningham is nailed for a loss at the 39-yard line by Larry Cole of the Dallas front line. And it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the 49ers with 13:50 left to play in the first half. And the 49ers leading 3-0. Cornell Green is back in. Cliff Harris goes to the sidelines for Dallas. I just now noticed, Pat, the lights are on here at Kezar Stadium. Figuring that they might need them, I guess, before this game's over.
We started an hour later than we usually might.
Gene Washington is left. Dick Witcher lined up wide right. This is a 3rd and 5 play, and a penalty marker is down, and a big rush. Let's see, I see 54, Chuck Howley. One of the linebackers was blitzing, but a marker down behind the line. Preliminary signal holding.
Again, that's something that you won't see Dallas do a lot of. That's blitz one of those linebackers. Already, in fact, I think a couple of times with Cornell Green trying to rush the passer, and that time with Chuck Howley. They've done it far more than they usually do.
This will be a big loss in yardage because the holding occurred behind the line. And the ball goes back to the San Francisco 36-yard line. And there we saw referee Tommy Bell. So now the 49ers, to record a first down, would have to get to the Dallas 34-yard line. And Jethro Pugh is taken out. Two of the linebackers are taken out. Additional defensive backs are in. This is Jimmy Thomas. And he's bumped out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the 49ers, and the punting unit comes on. That means Steve Spurrier on 4th and very long yardage. And the Cowboys' Bob Hayes is getting ready for this expected punt. He'll have Dan Reeves back with him. And Spurrier here in the second quarter has the advantage of a following wind. Hayes is inside the 25-yard line. Spurrier kicking from inside the 49er 30. What a punt. Bob Hayes signaling fair catch. The ball gets into the end zone. It's a touchback, and the Cowboys will start from the Dallas 20. With a score, 49ers 3 and Cowboys nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
Hey, Eddie. Hey, today's the grand opening, huh? Congratulations.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Wow, it's a happy day for me.
Hey, I used to play one of these.
This is really a dream come true for me. And you know who made it possible? My full-service bank. Bill's my banker. I already had a checking and savings account there, so I went to see them about a loan. First thing I knew, they were explaining bookkeeping and insurance, things I hadn't even thought about. Full-service banking really means what it says, and they've got all kinds of ways to help, and they can help everybody, from a housewife to a millionaire, even a fellow with a brand new music store. Bill, I'm glad you're a good banker.
See your full-service banker soon for savings accounts, checking accounts, tailor-made loans. There are so many ways a full-service banker can help. This is our symbol. Helping is our business.
As we look at veteran John Brody, and to his left, the brilliant young receiver, Gene Washington, I'm reminded that John Unitas, the veteran quarterback of the Baltimore Colts, and his teammates, we extend congratulations to them on their winning of the American Football Conference Championship earlier today. First and 10 Cowboys from the Dallas 20-yard line. Greg Morton is the quarterback. He sends Rucker in motion. And this is Garrison getting just a yard or so. Frank Nunley, 57. Jim Snydecki in on the tackle.
We'd like to remind you that next weekend, CBS will bring you another sports special, the Glenn Campbell Los Angeles Open Golf Tournament. This is the first event of the 1971 PGA Tour. Most of the top pros will be competing, including defending champion Billy Casper. That's Saturday, January 9th at 5, and Sunday, January the 10th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live and in color.
Second down 9, Dallas. This is Dwayne Thomas. And he's out close to a first down around the 30-yard line. Dwayne Thomas has carried now 3 times for 30 yards. Garrison 4 for 14. And Claxton Welch 5 for 27. It is a first down for the Cowboys at the Dallas 31-yard line. 12:24 left to play first half. The 49ers are leading 3-0. Rucker lines up wide right, as does Hayes. Out across the 35 to around a 37-yard line. Again, it's Dwayne Thomas. Ran into Nunley and Wilcox. There's Thomas, number 33. That I don't think I'll ever forget. Not in a long time, at least. The day that he had against Kansas City when the Cowboys came back for that very big victory after losing by such a one-sided margin to the Vikings.
That was the first really big day he'd had. Calvin Hill had started the season as the Dallas running back along with Walt Garrison. Hill was hurt, and after that performance, it's been Thomas, and Hill can't get his job back.
It's 2nd and 3 after that gain of 7, and this is Garrison to the 40. And it'll be 3rd and about 1. He ran into Frank Nunley and Cedric Hardman and Tommy Hart. Morton has passed 5 times, and he is looking for his first completion. Ditka comes in, so he and Norman, both tight ends, will be in on 3rd and 1. To the outside comes Thomas, and he might have fallen forward enough for a first down at the 42-yard line. It is a first down. Wilcox and Johnson made a fine defensive play, but Thomas picks up the first down nonetheless. Ditka goes out, and Rucker comes back in. This Dallas drive started at the Cowboy 20-yard line, following a punt into the end zone by Steve Spurrier. Morton sends Rucker out to the left, working against Bruce Taylor. Hayes to the right, on the corner where Jimmy Johnson is. The tight end, Pettis Norman, is really shaken by Mel Phillips, and it is Phillips who is not getting up. Now he's up, but slowly, and he's limping.
Just a quick pass from Morton to the tight end, Pettis Norman, number 84, and he really got popped by safety man Mel Phillips, who's now leaving the game. He got his hand hurt last week. This now seems like it's something wrong with one of his feet. Dick Nolan was saying before the game that Mel Phillips is the most thoroughly prepared football player that he has ever been associated with.
It's 2nd and 10, and Johnny Fuller has replaced Phillips in the secondary. A screen to Dwayne Thomas. And he has a first down at the 49er 44-yard line, where he's collared by linebacker Dave Wilcox. So Morton's first completion moves the Cowboys into 49er territory. Pettis Norman, number 84 there, just came in with Tom Landry's play selection now on 1st and 10. 9:50 left to play in the first half. The Cowboys lead or trail 3-0. Bruce Gossett of the 49ers has accounted for the only scoring. Out of a double wing now. The fake was to Thomas. This is for Hayes. In pursuit was Johnny Fuller, who just came into the game 2 plays ago.
San Francisco had a blitz on that time with linebacker Wilcox and linebacker Nunley involved. Let's take a look at this. 64 is Wilcox to the left of your screen, picked up by Nye. Nunley went to the other side. Fortunately for Dallas, Morton, the quarterback, had called a short rollout, and he rolled away from that pressure from the linebackers. He did get the single coverage on the man that he obviously wanted to work on, Johnny Fuller, who just replaced Mel Phillips. And he got the receiver on him, too, that he wanted, Bob Hayes, who, of course, can fly.
Brief delay because Hayes just got back to the huddle. Now it's 2nd and 10, the Cowboys. Hayes to the right. Here goes Thomas again. Out of bounds. 33-yard line. It's another Dallas first down. And now Mel Phillips goes back in. Bill Belk will replace Cedric Hardman at a defensive end. But the Cowboys' first big sustained drive of the game has moved them now to a 1st and 10 at the 49er 33. 9:20 left to play in the first half. Thomas now has carried 6 times for 50 yards and 93 yards on the ground for the Dallas rushing attack. Rucker and Hayes wide right. Thomas. And he's down to the 26-yard line.
Talking with some of the Cowboy coaches before the game and talking about Dwayne Thomas. And he is such a natural, such an instinctive runner, they say, that all you have to do is make sure he knows what the play is supposed to be. If you try to coach him, you might mess something up because he's just got a feel.
Thomas is 6'1" and 220, a rookie from West Texas State. It is 2nd down and 3.5. Here he goes again. And he's close to a 1st down around the 23-yard line.
You know, you'd like to be able to make some comments about the type of strategy that a team might be employing, but there's really not too much to say about the way Dallas operates. They'll run it and run it and run it until they absolutely have to put it in the air. Morton will average maybe 16, 18 passes a game, and that's all.
First down.
Another 1st down for the Cowboys. Roland Lakes comes out. Earl Edwards moves in the front line for the 49ers. So the front wall now of San Francisco, Belk, Edwards, Kruger, and Hart. 1st down, Cowboys. This is Thomas. This time he gets about 2 yards to the 21-yard line. Boy, they seem to be getting a lot of blockers out in front of him on that type of play.
They pull both the guards and the tackles to get him out in front, and Thomas is so quick getting behind him, sometimes all you need up front is just a little brush block to slow a defender down long enough, and he'll be out behind the fellows who pull. As I said before, that's something you really can't teach. That's got to be instinct.
Dallas started at their 20. It's 2nd and 8 at the 49er 21. I think every official on the field threw the penalty flag. Five yards against the Cowboys. Belk leaves now. Hardman comes in. Infraction, illegal procedure. So now it is 2nd and 13.
And now let's watch those San Francisco linebackers. This is a situation that we've seen them many, many times. Pull some sort of a blitzing tactic. Let's see what they do.
Rucker to the right. Hayes to the left. This is Dwayne Thomas. He's at the 19-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and just about 6 for the Cowboys as Jim Snydecki made the tackle.
One of everybody's all-time favorites, the Honeymooners, will be back on the scene every week beginning tonight. The show gets off to a rollicking start with Paul Lynde guest starring and Cramden and Norton posing as hippie songwriters. So join Jackie, Art Carney, and company for the opening tonight at 10 and 9 Central Time.
A 3rd and 6 play coming up. Rucker to the left, Hayes to the right. The ball at the 19-yard line of the 49ers. This is the tight end, Ditka, and I don't believe he has a 1st down. The ball is at between the 13 and 14-yard line. The Cowboys had to reach the 12.5. So it is 4th down, and Mike Clark, the place kicker, comes in. He's tried one, which was well off to the side. And we're going to take this opportunity to pause 5 seconds for station identification. Dan Reeves holding from 21 yards for Clark. And we have a tie ball game. Cowboys 3, 49ers 3. We'll be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment.
Jones, if that shipment doesn't get here this morning, I'll have your job.
I hope they used REA Air Express. I hope. Picked it up yesterday. Got it here this morning. Call me anytime.
Silverfoot, who was that man?
REA, away!
REA Air Express, right again.
REA Air Express, the fastest delivery of small shipments known to mankind. Hi-yo, REA, away!
You can find anything in Hong Kong. Ivory, silk, jade, and an American beer, Schlitz. And out here that says home. You only go around once in life, and you gotta grab for all the gusto you can, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
There's Jimmy Thomas, number 24, along with Bill Tucker, number 45. Waiting the kick from Dallas's Mike Clark. Thomas, by the way, 68 yards and 10 carries. Jimmy Thomas at the 16. 33-yard line. And with exactly 6 minutes and 1 second left to play in the first half, the 49er offense takes over. Total offense now, let's see, Dallas has had the ball 29 plays, 130 yards. 49ers 20 plays, 109 yards. Out to the left comes Witcher. To the right, Gene Washington. Willard and Cunningham are the running backs behind Brody. The fake was to Willard. The pass is to Cunningham. 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Mel Renfro made the tackle.
This again is the same play that San Francisco has gotten so much mileage out of. Let's watch Bob Lilly, number 674, as he fights off two blockers, Peoples and Beisler, and here comes Forrest Blue now to help out. So 3 blockers really took a shot at Lilly that time. I think that would be really frustrating after a while to have that many people trying to block you and keep having to pour it on every play.
The ball is at the San Francisco 47-yard line, 1st and 10. 5 minutes left to play in the first half now. The fake again was to Willard. The pass is for Witcher. Covering was Charlie Waters and Mel Renfro. Incomplete.
Waters, of course, is the free safety man. Now, this is Renfro with his back to you. But he's going to get some help from Waters, who comes over because nobody comes out of the backfield for him to cover. Waters arrived on the scene. You saw how Renfro just stayed to the outside throughout that whole pass pattern, knowing that he had help coming. Usually when you see a long pass completed for a touchdown, somebody gets mixed up in that secondary, and when you expect the help and it doesn't get there, you get burned.
6 of 11 for Brody, 95 yards. It's 2nd and 10. This is Cunningham. He escaped Jethro Pugh and wound up at the 50 for a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd and 7 as Dave Edwards wound up making the tackle. Time left in the first half, 4 minutes and 34 seconds, and the clock running with the score tied at 3-3. .48 degrees was the game time temperature. Just a perfect day. Witcher right, Washington left. The blitz. This is for Washington. Just off his fingertips at the 16-yard line.
On down, incomplete to Washington.
At the bottom of your screen is Gene Washington. The blitz was on, as Ray said, so Renfro now has no help, in contrast to what he did a minute ago. At the top is Witcher running his pattern, but Renfro's got him all by himself now. And that's a whole different ball game. Washington has him for a moment, and Brody had the ball pretty close to being on the money, but he couldn't quite hold on.
So now it's 4th and 7, and Steve Spurrier is on the scene. Bob Hayes is inside the Dallas 15. Spurrier has a following wind. Fair catch. Reeves fumble. And the Cowboys, I believe, Bob Hayes. Yep, Bob Hayes got it back. Wow. With a score. The Cowboys 3 and the 49ers 3. Let's pause for a moment.
With the world getting noisier and noisier, it's hard to find a nice quiet spot these days. And it's becoming harder. Even out here. Noise. There's no getting away from it, right? Wrong. Because while everything's getting noisier, Ford cars stay quiet. Why? Because quiet cars come from strong cars. And Fords are built strong. Result? The 1971 LTD is one of the quietest riding Fords ever. Take a quiet break in the 1971 Ford. Ford gives you better ideas.
Bob Hayes recovered that loose ball at the Dallas 15-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 Cowboys with 3:53 left in the half. There goes Rucker again. Here's Dwayne Thomas. He ran into Rosie Taylor out around the 25-yard line. And Dwayne Thomas is having another tremendous day.
And he just overpowered Rosie Taylor for about an extra 3 yards. Taylor had a good shot at him and made a fine tackle. But Thomas got about 3 extra yards that he normally wouldn't have gotten had not he been so strong. There is Tom Landry.
It's a first down as Thomas carried for 11, and he now has picked up 78 yards in 11 carries. First man through is Walt Garrison. He's out to the 32-yard line as the Cowboys are involved now in a race against the clock. And Pettis Norman sprints into the huddle with instructions from the coaching staff. Gain on that play for Garrison, 6 yards, 2nd down, 4. The clock's running.
This now has turned into another element that Dallas hoped to be able to do, and that is control the football to such a degree that they would not give Brody and his explosive 49er attack as many opportunities as they might normally expect to get.
Garrison is way out to the right, about 15 yards. Incomplete, as I'm sure you noticed. Morton wanted to set up a screen, but the 49ers, you'd have thought that they had somebody back in the huddle that time, knowing what was coming up.
They had as many guys out there as Dallas did trying to set up that screen.
It's
Morton threw a dart at him.
Pardon me, Pat. Well, that stopped the clock with 2:24 now left to play in the first half.
Be interesting to see what Tom Landry has sent in this situation. Normally you'd expect the team to pass with this much yardage to go, 3rd and 4. But with a back like Dwayne Thomas in there and as good a running attack as Dallas has, they might choose to just run him, although he's out on the flank now.
Bob Hayes in motion this time on 3rd and 4. And the screen is to Thomas. He gets it out to the 42-yard line. That's another Dallas first down. And I think we'll have the notification coming up that there are 2 minutes remaining in the first half before the next play gets underway, because the clock is running with 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 1 second, and right there we are. So with the score, the Cowboys 3 and the 49ers 3. Let's pause for a moment.
No two people are exactly alike.
Is there anyone else in the whole human race with your kind of style and your kind of grace, who's not so big, not so small, not so bad with a ball? No, there's nobody else quite exactly like you. Nobody else like you. No, there's nobody else exactly like you. Nobody else like you.
That's what we're all about. Persons, not people. We're a life insurance company, the Equitable. And the Equitable agent never forgets that no two people are exactly alike. All his training, all his thinking are shaped around you and your needs. To the Equitable agent, there's nobody else like you.
Nobody else like you.
Dick Nolan, the head coach of the 49ers, has just made 2 defensive changes. He has sent in Stan Heineman, number 80, at defensive left end, and Skip Vanderbunt, number 52, at right linebacker. The Cowboys have a 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 42-yard line, with exactly 2 minutes left to play in the first half. Now, Morton sends Rucker wide right. Hayes also on the right side. Thomas now is out wide to the left as a flanker. Intended for Garrison, but it looked like someone might have hooked Morton's arm. Earl Edwards, yeah.
Did remarkably well to get rid of the ball, because the 49ers, again, as they have throughout the first half, put heavy pressure on Morton when he goes back to pass.
I see, Pat, that Morton has completed 3 of 12 passes for 29 yards. It's now 2nd and 10 Dallas. That play took just 5 seconds. It's Belk, Edwards, Kruger, and Heineman, the front 4, the Cowboys. Rucker coming in motion to the right. It was short of Reeves, who just came into the game.
Again, as we pointed out a minute ago, Morton has been under heavy pressure. Here's Bill Belk, number 72, and watch him. He's being blocked, or attempted at being blocked, by number 73, Ralph Neely, but here comes somebody else to the outside, and again, Morton was lucky to get rid of it. 49ers, as you could probably see, had one of their linemen looping behind Belk, and he was the one who put on the outside pressure, and that's why Neely let Belk go and tried to pick him up.
Belk now leaves, and Cedric Hardman, number 86, comes in at a defensive end, and it's a 3rd and 10 for the Cowboys. 1:51 now left in the half. The score is tied at 3-3. And down he goes. That's Earl Edwards, who wrapped up Morton at the 37-yard line. And the 49ers, it would appear, are about to get the ball, and Earl Edwards heads to the sidelines, and punter Rod Whidbey comes on for Dallas.
And the 49ers will get it. There's Earl Edwards, the big hand for him. Tom Landry talking to his quarterback, Craig Morton. When the 49ers do get it, they'll have all 3 of their timeouts left in 1 minute and 36 seconds, 35 now.
Bruce Taylor is back. 25-yard line. Oh, beautiful coverage by the Cowboy. Let's see who that was. Looks like Mark Washington, number 46. And Bruce Taylor lets you know what he thought about something there. He threw the ball at him.
We should give credit, too, to Ron Whidbey, the Dallas punter, because he's been criticized to a degree. Bruce is upset.
Yes, he is. One of the officials was talking to young Taylor there. So the 49ers have it. 1st and 10 at the San Francisco 26-yard line. 1:20 left to play in the first half. A screen to Cunningham. And a fine defensive play by Herb Adderley, the left cornerback, after a gain of about 6. And the clock is running.
Don't go away at halftime, because I think you'll really enjoy this. The halftime show will feature O.C. Smith and Tony Bennett, with Pat Henry emceeing the show. And we just know you'll enjoy it.
Boy, that's quite a lineup. And the national anthem was sung by Johnny Mathis. 49ers took a timeout, so 2 timeouts left now for San Francisco. There's the Red Garter Band from San Francisco. Capacity crowd here. Well, barring something unusual, we're watching the last professional game to be played in Kezar Stadium.
49ers, of course, will be moving next year to Candlestick Park. And this, I guess, is about as good a way to say goodbye to a stadium as you could possibly have. 25 years the 49ers have been here.
1 minute, 7 seconds left in the first half. 2nd down, 3.5 for the 49ers at the San Francisco 32. Great protection. Ted Kwolek, the tight end, had a lot of company back there. Cornell Green was with him. And also Charlie Waters, number 41. So it'll be third and about 4. 1 minute and 1 second. Total offense for the 49ers. 134 yards. San Francisco's had the ball 26 plays. 36 plays for Dallas and 151 yards in total offense. Washington left. Witcher right on 3rd and 4. Doug Cunningham couldn't quite get to it at midfield, and it's 4th down. And with 57 seconds left, the San Francisco punting unit. And that means Steve Spurrier coming on.
And I'm sure John Brody is very, very unhappy with himself because he had good protection, and he did have Cunningham out in the open. And it's rare that you'll see him miss a receiver when he's open and he has time to throw. Spurrier is the backup quarterback. He's number 11. The last couple of weeks, he has done an outstanding job punting.
Brody, 7 of 15, 101 yards. We're going to look now from behind Steve Spurrier, number 11. He has a following wind. Wow, a great effort by Steve Kiner of the Cowboys. Fair catch. Dan Reeves at the 35. You want to see, there's Steve Kiner, the young Dallas linebacker from Tennessee, who made a great effort in trying to block the Spurrier punt. So 50 seconds left as the Cowboys get the ball at the Dallas 36.
And if I'm not mistaken, Dallas has 2 of their timeouts remaining, so certainly they have adequate time too.
Now the clock is running. That one bounced into Walt Garrison's hands, and Morton just got rid of the ball. That was Cedric Hardman who really decked him.
In spite of the fact that that was a very short pass, and Garrison was just barely downfield, Morton still was under heavy pressure. You know, Ray, I think it must have something to do with what the linemen are really accustomed to doing, because Dallas pass protection now seems to be breaking down, and Morton is not getting much time. That offensive line is geared to a running attack and a ball control game, and I think they're just more used to doing that than they are pass blocking.
It's now 2nd down 10. This is Dan Reeves, and Hardman has him. Ran him out of bounds inside the 30. Dan almost wound up in the stands. There he is, number 30. He was way over on the running track in front of the stands. Loss on the play of 7 yards. It's 3rd and 17. Tommy Hart was in for 1 play and is replaced by Stan Hindman, and that's Mike Ditka, number 89, joining the Dallas huddle. 33 seconds now left in the half. The score is tied at 3-3.
There are bigger defensive ends than Cedric Hardman. He's 6'3" and 255, a rookie from North Texas State. But there are none anywhere any quicker. He gets off the ball and gets around his blocker as quickly as anybody in the league.
This is Reeves, and Charlie Kruger nails him for a loss. All the way back at the 22-yard line. And the clock shows 23 seconds. That shows how much time is left. Now, I think the 49ers asked for a timeout, so they have, I believe, 1 timeout left, Pat. Is that right?
I believe that's correct, yes. And it looks like we might again get the possibility, or at least certainly we'll have the possibility of seeing Bruce Taylor handle another kick. Now, Ron Whitby has been working throughout this week particularly hard on not only getting the ball deep, but getting the ball way up high, giving his lineman time to get down and cover.
The last time Ron Whitby punted, he had a 48-yard effort. And there's Whitby now inside the 10. Now, what wind there is against him right now. And no chance at all for Taylor, as the ball is dead at the 28-yard line with just 11 seconds left in the half. So I don't know whether Whitby tried to punt it that way or not, but he certainly did the right thing to keep it away from Bruce Taylor. 54 yards that time.
I started to say when he hit that one, when he first touched it with his foot, that's the kind that's dangerous against Taylor. But Taylor was looking right into a very bright sun, And he might not have judged it correctly because that was the kind of kick that could be returned, the line drive type.
Well, that takes care of the first half. The end of the first half with the score. The Dallas Cowboys 3, the San Francisco 49ers 3. We'll be ready for the start of today's halftime activities after this pause for station identification.
Animal World, originally scheduled to premiere this afternoon, will now begin its new series 2 weeks from today on CBS.
Pat Henry has just introduced this young man, O.C. Smith, and accompanied by the Red Garter Band, our halftime show is underway.
Feeling low, I think about her face aglow and ease my mind. Sometimes I call up at home knowing she's busy, and I ask if she could get away from me and grab a bite to eat. She dropped what she's doing, hurries down to meet me, and I'm always late. She sits waiting patiently and smiles when she first sees me. She's made that way. Now, if that's not loving me, all I gotta say that God did me little green apples. It don't snow in Minneapolis when the winter comes. And there's no such thing as make-believe, no puppy dogs, no autumn leaves, and no BB guns. Now, God didn't make little green apples. It don't rain in Indianapolis in the summertime. And when myself is feeling low, I think about her face aglow, and I ease my mind. Whoa!
Well, let's see, a nice, big, rousing round of applause for a great, great performer. O.C. Bob, I don't know why you wore that fur coat, because it's beautiful out here today, I'll tell you that. To all you folks sitting home, this is a magnificent day, and it's a great game. Now I'd like to call on a friend. This is like an adopted son of San Francisco. San Francisco happens to be one of the great cities in the world, but this man recorded a song that actually he became dear to everybody's heart in Frisco. This is his second home. Let's have a nice round of applause for a guy who comes from my first home, Brooklyn, Tony Bennett.
I left my heart in San Francisco, high on a hill. It calls to me to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air. I don't care, my love waits there in San Francisco. Francisco, above the blue. And when D.C., when I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me.
Oh, let's hear it for Tony Bennett. Beautiful. Tony, don't go away. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to call on the royal family of stars from the King's Castle to come out, and we're all going to do a very appropriate number together. Johnny Mathis, who sang the national anthem so beautifully today. Johnny, will you come out? O.C. and Tony, one more time. We'd like to sing something intimate in this wonderful little room. T? All together now. I got the scores here. Oh. Here we go. You want to give us a downbeat, Tony? All right.
Here you go. San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger wait outside the door. San Francisco, here is your wandering one, saying I wonder no more. Good, good. So far, good. Tell me you're the heart of old Golden West. San Francisco, welcome me home again. I'm coming home again, rolling no more. San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco, here is your wandering one, saying I want to know more.
Good, I'll see you take it.
Tell me you're the heart of all the gold.
What's the Baltimore score? 27?
San Francisco, welcome me home again. I'm coming home again. Roaming no more.
Let's hear it for your wonderful, wonderful performance. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank all these great entertainments. Mr. Pat Henry, Mr. O.C. Smith, Mr. Johnny Mathis, and Mr. San Francisco, Tony Bennett.
We're almost ready to begin the second half with Dallas kicking off to San Francisco. Today's National Football League game is being brought to you by New York Life Insurance Company and your local New York Life agent, and by Ford and your Ford dealer, who bring you the Better Idea cars for 1971, and by American Airlines. It's good to know you're on American Airlines. And by Schlitz. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. The Dallas Cowboys San Francisco 49ers game will continue after this brief intermission.
If I looked like this, I'd get the ho-ho-ho. I'd like to get rid of some of the gray, but not all of it.
Announcing Grecian Formula 16. It's practically clear. As easy to use as hair tonic. No mess. Use it every day until you slowly, gradually get rid of as much gray as you want. Some of it or all of it. Then once a week or so to keep it that way. Grecian Formula 16. You control how much gray you slowly get rid of. Some of it or all of it.
You cut yourself like that before the big dive tomorrow, you'll draw sharks.
Sharks?
Use Edge Protective Shave.
I use this.
Call that protective?
Edge is a gel.
This gel lubricates better than that foam.
You get a smooth shave?
Yeah. And I hardly cut myself anymore. It's that lubrication, I guess.
No nicks and no cuts.
And no sharks.
Edge Protective Shave.
Highlights of the first half where San Francisco and Dallas are tied 3-3. John Brody throwing to Gene Washington, who had gotten behind Herb Adderley. Washington down at the Dallas 10. These are the points for San Francisco. A field goal by Bruce Gossett of 16 yards. That's still first quarter. Dallas on the attack. And this has been typical. This is Dwayne Thomas. And he's been spectacular in the first half, as he has been throughout the year. Thomas again. And this has been the basis of the Dallas attack. Control the ball, run it throughout most of the first half. And that's what they've done. And with Thomas, they've been able to do it successfully. Morton to Ditka. But San Francisco held short of a first down. Mike Clark got a field goal. These are Baltimore highlights now, courtesy NBC Sports. Oakland fumbled, and Baltimore recovered. This was the first big break of their game in Baltimore. A game won by the Colts 27-17. John Unitas hitting here Eddie Hinton, who almost gets in for a Colt touchdown. And we'll take another look at that same play, Unitas to Hinton, from the end zone and in slow motion. Unitas just lobbing the ball over the top of the linebacker, Bill Lasky's head. Looked like Hinton might be able to get in. But on the next play, this again is that same play shown from behind the quarterback. Norm Bulash, the fine Colt rookie runner, bangs in. And again from the end zone, the same Colt touchdown. At that point, the score was 10-0 Baltimore. Here's Bulash again. And again he gets in. He's had a great 2 weeks. Same play from the end zone. Bulash again, the rookie from TCU. At that point, the score was 20-10. Now here is George Blanda throwing to Warren Wells for an Oakland touchdown. Darryl LaMonica had left the game as he pulled a groin muscle. Here it is again. Blanda to Wells. Score of that game, as we said, was 27-17. Let's take a look at our first half statistics, where the score here at Kezar Stadium is 3-3. Dallas has 10 first downs, San Francisco 6. Total yards, the Cowboys have the edge by 10. Rushing yards, a big edge, 119-35. Neither Craig Morton or John Brody have been outstanding throwing in the first half. Brody is 7 of 15, Morton just 3 of 14. Dallas has accomplished, though, one thing that they set out to do, and that is control the football. They've run 13 more plays in the first half than the 49ers have been able to put on. 39-26. Penalties have not been a factor. Dallas penalized 3 times for a total of 35 yards. San Francisco 3 times for 25 yards. Neither team has lost the ball through a fumble. Although Dallas did fumble twice, they managed to recover both of them themselves. So statistically speaking, that's the score. On the scoreboard, it's the 49ers 3 and the Cowboys 3. And both the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys have returned from their halftime sessions. And I'll return you now to Ray Scott.
Well, Pat, you're just going to return to me for a second because I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
Not a bit.
Okay. In view of the low-scoring first half, the inability of either team to get into the end zone, with the Cowboys, by the way, extending that tremendous streak of now 23 consecutive quarters without allowing a touchdown. What do you think the coaches might do to try and get more points on the board?
I think possibly the 49ers might have made some changes at halftime. There's Craig Morton. I think they might have changed some few minor portions of their attack to try to put some points on the board. But I don't think Dallas will, because I think they feel that they've been so successful, as Dick Nolan now is huddling with his team before the second half starts. They think they've been so successful with the running attack. I think that's what they'll continue to do.
And by the way, shadows are already moving onto the playing field here at Kezar Stadium. The lights were turned on before the game started, but with all due credit, we must say that the lighting here, if it really is needed, is not very good. Dallas will be kicking off. The 49ers will have number 24, Jimmy Thomas, number 45, Bill Tucker, as their deep man. Mike Clark will kick off for the Cowboys. Score is tied at 3-3 as we get ready to start the second half. There's Mike Clark. He has a following wind. Jimmy Thomas at the 3. Out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. The kicker, Mike Clark, helped bring him down, along with Cliff Harris, number 43, and Richmond Flowers, number 45. So the 49ers, with John Brody at quarterback, will start from the San Francisco 26-yard line. Now receivers will be anyone who breaks out to the left and looks back toward the quarterback will be looking into the rays of the sun. Witcher right, Washington left, Cunningham, and Willard, the running backs. Willard is met behind the line by number 66, and that's Big George Andre. Result, if anything, a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down and about 11. Andre, Lilly, Pugh, Cole, Edwards, Jordan, Howley, Adderley, Green, Waters, and Renfro. That's the Dallas defense. This is Cunningham, and a marker is down. Preliminary signal indicates the infraction by the 49ers. The marker was dropped at the 23-yard line. There was a gain on the play of about 5 yards, holding San Francisco.
I think we're seeing, you asked me about whether or not the 49ers might have changed their method of attack. I think they feel really that they've got to run against Dallas and make them respect the run to make their passing game more effective than it might normally be. But having to and getting it done is something else again.
So back goes the ball on the holding penalty, half the distance to the goal line. The holding occurred at the 24-yard line. It's back at the 12. They, must reach the 36-yard line, so it's second and 24. Witcher is wide right. A lot of defensive changes now. We don't have a chance to give all of them to you on the part of Dallas. This is Willard. And he's nailed after a gain of just a yard. Bob Lilly. George Andre again. And it'll be third down and 23.
Among other things that Dallas does in a situation like this when they feel the other team has to pass is go with 3 rush linemen, just 3 men up front. They put in an extra linebacker. D.D. Lewis is in. They also put in an extra defensive back.
Mark Washington is the additional defensive back. This is third and 23 now. This is Willard. Out to the 19-yard line. It'll be fourth down, and Steve Spurrier comes in. He'll have to punt into the wind with 13 minutes left to play in the third quarter. And the score tied at 3-3.
And a point you brought up a minute ago, Ray. Now, Dallas, their 2 deep men, who are Dan Reeves and Bob Hayes, will be looking directly into that sun that you mentioned a minute ago. It might be a factor as far as San Francisco's receivers were concerned. But now Hayes and Reeves face that same problem.
Spurrier inside the 10. Hayes, fair catch, Dallas 43, and that's where the Cowboys take over first and 10. Greg Morton will have Dwayne Thomas, number 33, as the 1 running back. Let's see who the other running back will be. It'll be Walt Garrison, number 32. His wide receivers will be Rucker, 88, and Hayes, 22. They alternate at tight end between Norman, who is in there now, and Mike Ditka. This is Thomas. A gain to the 40, I think about the 47-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 4. Dwayne Thomas. Let's see what he's up to now. 11 carries, 82 yards. Second down, 6, Dallas. Hayes goes out to the right. Jimmy Johnson picks him up. That's Rucker in motion. Bob Hayes. And a perfectly timed block tackle by Rosie Taylor. If he hit him a split second earlier, I'm pretty sure it would have been an interference.
It would have had to be, and Hayes was coming across and had sort of a stride on Rosie Taylor and was getting up considerably higher than Rosie could have. And that's about the only play he could have done and break up that pass. And he did it, as Ray Scott told you, perfectly timed.
It'll be 3rd and 6, and Morton now is 3 of 15 for 29 yards. Rucker lines up to the right. Hayes to the left. The blitz. And Dave Wilcox drops Morton for the loss. Frank Nunley wound up with the ball, but after the whistle had blown. So there's a loss on a play of 6 yards, and it's 4th down.
And it also looks like Morton might be shaken a little bit. He is number 14, and he is leaving limping.
So now the punter, Ron Whidbey, takes over with 11:55 left in the 3rd quarter. Punting to Bruce Taylor and Johnny Fuller back around the San Francisco 20. Great punt. Bruce Taylor at the 16. 20. That's all. And again, the Cowboys covered that punt beautifully. With the score, Cowboys 3 and the 49ers 3. Let's pause for a moment.
Developing and testing new low-pollution gasolines has been part of my job for over 20 years. But even if I were not concerned about cleaner air, I'd still use Union's new low-lead Regular 76 in my car.
You mean reducing lead in gasoline can be good for the air and your car?
Definitely. When we were testing new low-lead Regular 76, we found mufflers and tailpipes lasted 50% longer. Spark plug life was more than doubled. When we reduced the lead by 80% to the low level that car makers recommend for today's cars, we found that critical engine parts wore longer.
So that extra penny a gallon you pay for new low-lead Regular 76 buys a lot more than cleaner air.
It's the best engine life insurance you can buy.
If you're for improving our air and extending the life of your car's engine, drive into any Union 76 station displaying this sign, 80% less lead. Fill up with new low-lead Regular 76 and get the spirit of 76.
$59,625 are here in person. Watched as the 49ers take over at their 21-yard line. A new tight end, Ted Kwolek, number 82, is in. And Brody is reached by the Cowboy defensive unit for the first time today and dropped inside the 15, and it was linebacker Dave Edwards blitzing on 1st down. And Pat, you were right about Craig Morton leaving the field and being slightly injured, because there's the other Dallas quarterback, Roger Staubach. Loss on that play of 7 yards, 2nd and 17. Washington to the left, Rucker to the right, Cunningham and Muller to the running backs. Intercepted, linebacker Leroy Jordan. The ball was tipped, I believe, as it was thrown, and the Cowboys have a 1st down on the first interception of the game.
Watch Larry Cole, number 63, and give him just as much credit as Jordan, because it's he who puts the rush on John Brody and hurries this throw. Jordan beats Cass Banaszak.
So the Cowboy defensive unit turns the ball over. It's Morton at quarterback. Running backs are Thomas and Garrison at the 13-yard line of San Francisco. There goes Rucker in motion. Here is Thomas. Touchdown. Dwayne Thomas puts the Cowboys in front by a score of 9-3.
What a runner he is. He broke about 5 tackles. Let's look again. Thomas is 33. Garrison is leading, 32. Just see how many times he gets hit. Well, he makes a great cut right there, and somebody got an arm on him. There he breaks one. Now Bruce Taylor has a shot. That's Jimmy Johnson from the other side, who also has a shot. So I guess you could say he really broke 3 tackles and made a great cut on that one run.
Now Thomas has carried 12 times for 95 yards, and Reeves holds for Mike Clark. And the Cowboys have point number 10 on the board. Cowboys 10, 49ers 3, and we'll be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment.
Treasure hunt isn't a kid's game when you're living and your life depend on it. Sharks don't play games. Their ancestors must have had quite a feast 250 years ago when a hurricane sank a fleet of Spanish galleons, along with $14 million in gold doubloons and pieces of 8. If you're lucky, you find some of it. If you're even luckier, you live to tell about it. And man, that's when you know what life really is. You only go around once. You gotta grab for all the gusto you can, even in the beer you drink. Why settle for less? When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
There's Jimmy Thomas back inside the 5, and to his right, Bill Tucker. Mike Clark kicks off. Jimmy Thomas. Yep, he's going to run it out to the 22-yard line. So the first interception of the game leads to the game's only touchdown, and the 49ers now must play catch-up football with 10:40 left to play in the third quarter. Kwalik again will be the tight end, number 82. The wide receivers are Washington going left, Witcher on the right. On first down for Washington. Defending was Charlie Waters and Mel Renfro.
If your child is school age, you'd better start doing your drug homework. You'll find a simplified cram course on drug abuse in the Federal Source Book, Answers to the Most Frequently Asked Questions About Drug Abuse. For your free copy, write to National Clearinghouse for Drug Abuse. For drug abuse information, Box 1080, Washington, D.C. Zip code is 20013.
Brody, 7 of 17, 98 yards, 1 interception. This is 2nd and 10. And there's a first down to Doug Cunningham, or close to a first down. Maybe I was premature. It is a first down. So the 49ers move it out to the 49er 32-yard line.
As long as Brody is able to do that, as long as his offensive line can keep those Dallas rushers off of him, and as long as he's able to utilize his backs coming out of the backfield and control of some of those Dallas linebackers, then he can have a very effective passing attack. If he has to keep them in to block, then he might be in trouble.
This is Willard. Out across the 35-yard line to the 36. And there it'll be 2nd down and 6. See, I think Brody was only, how many times was he intercepted during the season, Pat? I'm going to take a look here. I'm not really sure, but I know that
10 times, I think. Yes, 10 times in the regular season. And I think one particular game, New Orleans, I believe, got 3 of them in one game. So it's a rare occurrence.
2nd and 6. Fake was to Willard. Intercepted by Renfro. He's at the 30. He's at the 38-yard line. And Mel Renfro turns the ball over to the Cowboys.
Boy, what an outstanding job Renfro has done today, and in the weeks past as well. Fake is to Willard. That's to try to hold the linebackers. Looked like the ball hung just a little bit, but Renfro had him covered just as well as you can cover a man.
Gene Washington was the intended receiver. Back to live action. 1st and 10 Cowboys at the Dallas 38-yard line. This is Hayes in motion, and here goes Dwayne. Nope, this is Walt Garrison. And he has a first down all the way out to midfield. A gain of 12 for Walt Garrison. There's Garrison coming back to the huddle, and there's the man who turned the ball over on the interception, Mel Renfro. Cedric Hardman moves into the defense now for the 49ers with 8:10 left to play in the third quarter. The Cowboys with a 7-point lead in the ball. 1st and 10 at the 50. Rucker and Hayes are both left. Dwayne Thomas, and only about a yard. Charlie Kruger mainly responsible for stopping that play. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Total offense now on the ground, 149 yards for Dallas. And the Cowboys have had the ball 44 plays for 171 yards, 35 plays for the 49ers, 149 yards. But the big statistic, 2 interceptions by the Cowboys. This is 2nd and 9. This is Thomas. Penalty marker down. Preliminary signal holding against the Cowboys, number 73, Ralph Neely.
From Neely's reaction, I think it must have been he that was called. He's blocking down on Cedric Hardman. There he is. And there's his arm out on Hardman's leg. And that's where the flag was thrown, and from his reaction, that must have been the call made by the official.
Tommy Bell gives the signal. The ball is back at the Dallas 37-yard line. It is 2nd and 23. Time left third quarter, 7 minutes, 14 seconds. Cowboys lead 10-3. Leroy Jordan intercepted a pass at the 49er 13-yard line. And Dwayne Thomas scored the touchdown. Thomas is wide left. Hayes in motion left. And the blitz is on. This is Garrison. He's at midfield. He's at the 40-yard line, and he might have a Dallas first down. On 2nd and 23, as Morton eluded the blitz and got the ball to Garrison. And Skip Vanderbunt made the tackle.
It's a screen pass. Garrison is sitting back in the backfield. He just lets the on-rushers sift through and get by him a little bit. A blitz was coming from San Francisco, and about the best call you can make against a blitz is a screen pass. And don't forget that it's Tom Landry, the Dallas coach, that's calling these plays, too.
And that, by the way, is a first down. And it's at the 49er 40-yard line. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third period. Here comes Thomas. He's picked up about 6 yards on first down before Bruce Taylor and Earl Edwards made the tackle.
On Saturday, January the 23rd, CBS will bring you the American Basketball Association's 4th annual All-Star Game. The top players from the Western Conference will meet the stars of the Eastern Conference in this game. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on January the 23rd.
The Cowboys' Dwayne Thomas has now gained 102 yards in 14 carries. Rucker and Hayes are wide right on 2nd down 5. Thomas, first down. He's inside the 30. There's the signal from referee Tommy Bell. It's a first down. And here comes Pettis Norman now with Tom Landry's next choice. Jim Snydecki comes out, linebacker. Skip Vanderbunt replaces him.
You know, one other effect of having a man like Thomas in your backfield, as much as the Cowboys are able to spring him into the San Francisco secondary, you take Bruce Taylor, for example, who was involved in that last tackle, Thomas outweighs him about 45 pounds. And it takes away a lot of your effectiveness, not only against the run, but against the pass as well.
Hayes in motion. An attempted screen pass. I think Walt Garrison was the intended receiver. Yeah, but it's incomplete. Morton now 4 of 17 for 52 yards. The Cowboys are leading 10-3. 4:44 left to play, third quarter.
Again, the Cowboys guessed right in their play call. They had called a screen pass against the San Francisco blitz. At that particular time, San Francisco had anticipated that they might be calling that, and they dropped somebody back to pick up the receiver. It was Walt Garrison.
Now, Hayes and Rucker are both to the right, the wide side of the field. Thomas is a wingback left. This is for Hayes. Penalty marker. Mel Phillips defending.
Not too much question about this. Let's look at it again. Hayes is 22, of course. And watch Phillips hit him with his body before the ball gets there.
Result, it is 1st and goal to go at the 5.5-yard line. And the Cowboys, with a 7-point lead, are in tremendous position right now. Hayes breaks out of the huddle to the right. Tight end Norman is on the left side. And they're not going to snap the ball yet. As I'm sure you guessed, the Cowboys felt, and the officials agreed, they couldn't hear the count.
And that's something that's very vital to an attack like Dallas, when they have so many people in motion and have so many different flankers and so many different individuals set out wide away from the quarterback. It's almost an absolute necessity that you've got to be able to hear that snap count.
Now, Mike Ditka came in, and there are 2 tight ends in the game. Now Hayes is going out. Ruckers replaced him. 1st and goal, 5.5 yards away from the 49er goal line. Hey, this is Walt Garrison. Walt Garrison for the Dallas touchdown. And the Cowboys are on top by 13.
And a great fake by Morton to Dwayne Thomas is what sets this up. Watch Morton. The fake to Thomas. And Garrison, who was the other setback, is all by his lonesome.
So it's the Cowboys leading 16-3. Mike Clark will try for point number 17. And that touchdown came with 4:35 left to play in the third quarter. The Cowboys lead by 14. It's 17-3. And we're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification. – 17-3 Cowboys. Will be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment.
Wowee! Yeah, wowee. How much they charge for a room in this hotel? Where did you hear about this place, anyhow?
My cousin Jessica.
The deodorant heiress.
Aging Lord H.T. McKinsey. Yes, Countess, thank you.
Please register. Velvet. The pen is pure velvet.
Ah, General. We've reserved your usual suite and a suite for your horse, of course. Naturally, sir, you'd prefer a suite with a sitting room.
Huh? Oh, no.
Oh, no, we're not big on sitting. We lean exclusively.
Before you go anyplace, American Airlines suggests you see a travel agent. He knows where not to go. He knows exact prices, and he'll get the most for your money.
My wife's cousin, by the way, is a deodorant heiress.
Jimmy Thomas again is back, along with Bill Tucker, for Mike Clark's kick. This is Bill Tucker at the 3. He brings it out to the 27-yard line, and the 49ers. And come to think of it, Pat, the 49ers have had to play catch-up football quite a few times this season.
Many times they had to come from behind in the second half, and were able to do it. In fact, the third quarter was their biggest scoring quarter. It's when they were most effective. They got 4 minutes and 18 seconds left now.
Wide right, Witcher. Wide left, Washington. Washington, 33-yard line. I thought he had it.
Well, I did too.
But I guess not. 2nd and 10. I thought for sure he had caught it. But it is 2nd and 10. And now the Cowboys put in the additional defensive back, Mark Washington. 2nd and 10, San Francisco. This is Cunningham. And he's out to the 33-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5, San Francisco. And there is Walt Garrison, who caught that touchdown pass from quarterback Craig Morton. The second touchdown that the Cowboys have scored as they lead 17-3. Coming up, 3rd and 5. This is tight end Bob Windsor, and he has a first down at the 45-yard line. Dave Edwards made the tackle.
That's the kind of pass that'll work against that prevent defense, or a defense that someone chooses to play when you're almost sure that the other team is going to pass. Windsor faked the block at the line, and then after everybody else had dropped back deep for Dallas, he just cut across the middle underneath. Awfully hard to throw deep against that defense. Now it's the regular defense for Dallas back.
This time, Brody has both wide receivers wide to the right side, the open end of the field. This is Willard, and he looked into that sun, and he lost the ball. He was all alone, no one within 15 yards of him. And remember, we told you, as the sun is very low on the horizon.
Let's take a look at it. Well, you can see the shadows on the field right there. Willard comes out of the backfield, and he is all alone, but he's looking right back into the sun, and I don't think there's any question about the fact that he lost it. I was just noticing secondary men for Dallas shading their eyes before that play started.
Shadows now over about 3/4 of the field. It is a 2nd and 10 now from the San Francisco 45. Nearest the ball was Witcher, but well off target, as Brody just wanted to get rid of the ball as he's had no receiver open.
We'd like to remind you again that next weekend, Sunday, January the 10th, National Hockey League action returns to the CBS television network every Sunday afternoon throughout the conclusion of the Stanley Cup playoffs. On January the 10th, the Philadelphia Flyers meet the Montreal Canadiens at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and immediately following that game, you'll see a 30-minute special on the 1970 Stanley Cup playoff finals between Boston and St. Louis.
It's a 3rd and 10 for the 49ers. All alone is Windsor. And he has a first down at the 26-yard line. Tight end Bob Windsor worked his way clear. Look at that one again now.
From the end zone, yes. From Brody's back. Good protection this time. Windsor got inside the linebacker and behind the other two Dallas linebackers, and got good yardage. The 49ers are getting close.
So now the 49ers are at the 26-yard line of Dallas with 2:28 left to play in the third quarter. Remember, 23 quarters now. The Cowboys have not allowed a touchdown. almost intercepted by Cornell Green, and then it got away from him, and Bob Windsor almost had it. It all adds up to an incompletion in 2nd and 10. Now Ted Kwolek checks in place of Windsor. 10 of 25 for Brody, 140 yards, 2 interceptions. One by Jordan, one by Renfro. Following those interceptions, did the Cowboys score their touchdowns as they lead 17-3. Witcher to the right, Washington to the left. This is Windsor, touchdown. I said Windsor, I meant Witcher. Witcher for the touchdown.
From behind quarterback John Brody again. Let's have another look. As Witcher gets open behind Adderley, I believe it is. Behind Cornell Green and got away from Adderley.
So with 2:18 to play in the third quarter, Brody will hold for Gossett. And that string of consecutive quarters stops at 23 plus without allowing a touchdown by the Cowboys. Now the score is the Cowboys 17, the 49ers 10. Let's pause for station identification. Repeating.
Old friends Don Knotts and George Goober Lindsay will help launch the new Andy Griffith Show this Friday night on CBS.
Repeating. Number 46 is the Cowboys' Mark Washington. With him is Cliff Harris. Gossett kicking into a bit of a wind with 2:18 left to play. Tremendous kick. 3-yard line, Washington. To the 23-yard line, he ran into Preston Riley. So now the Cowboys, who have been able to control the ball today to a much greater extent than have the 49ers, will start 1st and 10 from the Dallas 23-yard line. And limping off the field is the 49ers' Tommy Hart. He's replaced by Stan Heinman, number 80 at defensive left end. There's Hart. Wide right, Rucker. Wing back left is Thomas. Hayes in motion. This is Garrison. To the 25. Making that defensive play was Roland Lakes, Skip Vanderbunt, Frank Nunley.
Not too much doubt. Excuse me, Ray.
Pardon me, just to say 2-yard gain.
Not too much doubt about what Dallas's strategy will be from here on in. Morton really doesn't like to throw the ball anyway.
The Cowboys on the ground have gained 163 yards, and Thomas has 108 of those yards. 2nd and 8. This is Garrison. And he's out to the 31, where it'll be 3rd and 2. 1:45 left to play, third quarter. Earlier today, the Baltimore Colts defeated the Oakland Raiders to win the American Football Conference title. 3rd and 2, Dallas from the Cowboy 31. The clock running. Just over a minute left to play now, third quarter. Rucker right. Hayes, a couple of yards split left. This is Dwayne Thomas. Ball in the air. It's caught by Rucker. And I believe he caught it about a half a yard beyond where the Cowboys needed to go for a first down.
Ball just popped out of Thomas's hand. Here is Thomas, the tailback, the deep back in the Dallas setup. He doesn't have the first down when he's hit. The ball got loose, and that's Rucker standing at the top of your screen. Let's take another look at it now. Rucker is 88. The ball pops right to it. Ooh, that's a big play.
So the Cowboys have a first down at the Dallas 34. Rucker in motion. Here comes Thomas. Around Bruce Taylor. He has a first down out at the 47-yard line. He is absolutely something else. Dwayne Thomas. Size and speed and moves, he has it all.
I think he gave you an indication right there of how much speed he does have. It looked like Bruce Taylor had a good angle on him, and he just turned it on and got to the outside and got a first down. He is absolutely amazing.
He went out of bounds, and that stopped the clock with 25 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Total rushing yardage now for the Cowboys, 195. The fake was to Thomas. The pass is to Garrison. And he's inside the 20. The ball is ruled to have been dead. A penalty marker is at the 30-yard line of the 49ers. Bob Hayes over, questioning one of the officials.
Just have to guess it's a clipping call against Dallas from their reaction. And there was somebody over there blocking for Garrison.
14 seconds left in the quarter as referee Tommy Bell measures off 15 yards. The foul occurred at the 30. The ball comes back to the San Francisco 45.
Let's take another look. As Morton again faked to Thomas, Garrison gets out in the open. I believe that was Bob Hayes who flashed across your screen and threw what looked like a block on Jimmy Johnson, I think. But the officials, of course, were very close to it.
Now the 49ers have lost, at least for the time being, linebacker Dave Wilcox. That is he limping off the field. So now the linebackers will be Ed Beard, Frank Nunley, and Skip Vanderbunt. Tommy Hart came off limping a while ago. I don't believe he returned since he left the game.
Is it 1st and 3?
It looks like it's a 1st and 3 at the 45-yard line of the 49ers. Rucker goes to the right in motion. This is Dwayne Thomas. Gained about 2 yards that time. And that undoubtedly was the final play of the third quarter. Oh, we're going to have a timeout for a measurement. 4 seconds left. Dwayne Thomas slowly getting up, but he's all right. He was just taking a little breather, I think.
Well deserved.
Boy, oh boy. How many times he carried now? 18 times for about 124 yards. Just that short. So it'll be second down and about a foot. The score, 17-10 Cowboys after a 3-3 first half. Brody's arm was hit as he was passing. Leroy Jordan intercepted. Dallas had the ball at the San Francisco 13. They went in to score. Thomas scored. Then an interception by Renfro, an interference call at the 5-yard line. Whoop, there's the gun. That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the Cowboys 17 and the 49ers 10. Let's pause for a moment.
Certain things make you uncontrollably happy. Others leave you quietly pleased.
but some provide a richer pleasure, like the satisfaction you get by giving your family basic financial security. Your New York life insurance agent knows a lot about this kind of happiness. Helping people find it is his full-time career. How can life insurance make your family's future happier? Your New York life agent has the answer.
There's a computer company that has designed information systems for over 400 kinds of business. NCR. So NCR won't have to learn your business first, nor promise more than a computer can do. Someday your company will talk to one of the most experienced computer companies you know. Because now you know. NCR means computers.
Shades of the days of 49. The official 49er stagecoach. With Pat Summerall and Jack Whitaker, this is Ray Scott at Kezar Stadium, San Francisco. We're having a measurement here. Not to decide what down it is, but to decide exactly where the ball should be placed. It'll be second and about a foot, with the ball at between the 43 and 44-yard line of San Francisco in Dallas possession. 15 minutes left of football, unless there's a tie. Then we go to sudden death. Craig Morton has been over consulting with Tom Landry and the other Cowboy coaches. Wide right comes Hayes. Wide left goes Rucker. Garrison and Thomas lined up behind Morton. There goes Thomas. Looks like he has a first down at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10, the Cowboys. Total offense now. The Cowboys, 252 yards. They've had it for 53 plays. The 49ers have had it for 43 plays and 222 yards. Now Tommy Hart checks back in that front line. There's Tom Landry, the head coach of the Cowboys. Tommy Hart replaces Heineman, a defensive left end for San Francisco. Rucker to the left, working against Taylor. And everybody else at the moment in tight. Hayes in motion. This is Garrison. And he picks up about 5 or 6 yards on first down, and it'll be 2nd and 4. And what a job this Dallas offensive line has done today. Neely, Nyland, Manders, Nye, Wright, and either Norman or Ditka at tight end.
It's been just amazing that they've been able to do to such a great degree what they set out to do, and that was to keep the ball away from San Francisco and control it. Obviously, when you run it as much as they do, you figure to do that. But that was sort of part of their game plan and a very basic part of it.
This is 2nd and 4. Rucker in motion. This is for Hayes. Mel Phillips had it in his hands and couldn't hold it at the 3.
In defense of Phillips, I said earlier that he had hurt his hand last week. You can see he's got it bandaged, and for him to catch any kind of ball would be rather remarkable. He deserves a lot of credit for even playing. But he's right with Hayes, and he's right there all the way. But that right hand, that bandaged hand, would have been the hand that he'd been able or tried to control the football with. It would have been the one on the backside as the ball came into him. And it is heavily bandaged. Excuse me, Ray.
Statistics on Morton, 6 of 20, 80 yards, no interceptions. Well, I'd have to say this is a pretty big down coming up. 3rd and 4. Rucker left, Hayes left. Garrison in motion. Here is Thomas. First down. Fumble. And the Cowboys get it back at the 23-yard line. Number 61, Blaine Nye.
Thomas, of course, had his first down. Here he is, number 33, Hayes in motion. Got his first down, no doubt about it. He got really popped right across where he was carrying the ball. And that's twice Dallas has been able to get a rebound on a fumble like that.
So it's a first down for the Cowboys at the San Francisco 23-yard line. Thomas now has carried 20 times for 135 yards. 12:56 left to play in the game. The Cowboys lead by 7. Garrison. And he's right in front of the goalpost at the 17-yard line after a gain of 6.
Next week, starting Saturday, January the 9th, the 8th annual CBS Golf Classic with $225,000 in prize money gets underway. Players such as Bruce Devlin, Sam Snead, Frank Beard, R.H. Sykes, Bobby Nichols, and Doug Sanders compete in this team best ball match play tournament every Saturday for 16 weeks. The opening match, January the 9th, has Tom Weiskopf and Bert Yancey against Hale Irwin and Howie Johnson.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Garrison to the 16. He got just a yard that time, and here again, a big third down coming up. Dave Wilcox, who left the game limping, comes back in now at a linebacking spot for the 49ers, replacing Jim Snydecki. It's a 3rd and 3 at the 16-yard line. The clock is running. 11:45 left to play.
If I were calling defense, I think I'd start keying on number 33 for Dallas, Dwayne Thomas, in a situation like this.
This is Thomas, and he does not have a first down. There's a loss of 1, and this means the kicking unit comes in. Mike Clark on 4th and 4. That's one of the very few times today that Thomas, the first time, that Thomas has failed to gain yardage when he carried the ball. There he is. What a day. Dwayne Thomas, rookie, West Texas State. Dan Reeves holding, 24-yard attempt. Angle from the left for Mike Clark. It is not good. It is wide to the right. And the 49ers have the ball at their 20-yard line with 10:45 left to play. So with the score, the Cowboys 17 and the 49ers 10. Let's pause for a moment. 1st and 10, 49ers at the San Francisco 20. Brody has Washington left and Witcher right. Washington belted out of bounds by Mel Renfro after a gain of 6.5 or 7. And Washington's number is going to be pretty hard to read. There's some mud just outside of the sidelines, and he hit it.
This is the pass that we said earlier would be there almost all day. Washington's so quick, and Brody can throw the ball so well, it's almost impossible to cover that.
Let's see. Washington now has caught 4 passes for 61 yards. It's 2nd and 3.5. Close to a first down. Ken Willard. Let's see now. Willard has carried the ball 11 times, 35 yards, and he gets a first down at the 30. Pat, I'm going to ask you here to keep reminding me to check the time left, because it's rather important.
I'd say
10 minutes and 12 seconds and the clock running. Remember, there'll be no tie. Sudden death if the 49ers can tie it up. Witcher left, Washington right. This is Witcher. Belted out of bounds by Renfro. First down, 49er 43-yard line.
You know, Washington gets most of the publicity, and deservedly so. Here is Brody's completion to Witcher. And this is what I was about to say a minute ago. You'll recall that Witcher scored the 49er touchdown. And you'll also recall that against Minnesota last week, it was Witcher who got the clutch touchdown on the pass from Brody.
Brody now 13 of 28 for 185 yards. The ball was tipped and was short of Doug Cunningham. A screen was set up with Vanasek and Woody Peoples out in front of Cunningham, but a great rush by the Cowboys Larry Cole, I believe, got a hand on that ball and tipped it away from Cunningham.
And also Cornell Green, the safety man, was blitzing. Had that been able to work, as we said about Dallas earlier, that's a perfect call against that kind of defensive maneuver.
So that's the time remaining with a 2nd and 10, San Francisco, at the 49er 43-yard line. Washington right side, Witcher left side. Washington. Adderley has him inside the Dallas 45. It's a 49er first down.
I believe something happened to Adderley. I think he might have slipped down as he tried to make the cut to get over with Washington. Look how open he is, though. That's that same square out pass. Sideline. You have to respect that man's great speed, Washington. And when you have a quarterback who can get the ball to him the way Brody can, well, there's just not really too much you can do about it.
Gene Washington now has grabbed 5 of Brody's passes for 73 yards. First down, San Francisco at the Dallas 44 with 9 minutes left in the game. Dallas leading by 7. This is for Witcher. And a tremendous play by Renfro.
That's the same pattern that he beat Minnesota with last week, as he tries to get into the crease between these two men. Now watch Renfro stay on the outside. He knows he's got help coming. Turned him around. And he was just hoping that he could catch the crease before Waters could get there. 41.
So Witcher is just now rejoining the huddle. It'll be 2nd and 10, 49ers at the Dallas 44. Tom Landry. How many situations his Dallas team has been in like this? Washington is on the left side now. Willard is inside the 40 at the 39-yard line, and it'll be a 3rd and 5 for the 49ers. Wow, you talk about a succession of 3rd down situations. Here is yet another. 17-10 Dallas broke a 3-3 tie with 2 touchdowns here in the second half. They led 17-3, but then Brody hit Witcher, and now it's 17-10.
Windsor has been inactive lately. Let's see.
Broken up by Adderley. Intended for Witcher. It's 4th and 5. And the kicker, Bruce Gossett, comes in. He has a following wind with 8:13 left.
I was just speculating a minute ago while they ran 3rd and 5 as to what Dick Nolan's choice of plays might be if the 4th down situation did come up, as it has, if he would try to go ahead and get the touchdown and tie it, or if he'd try to take the field goal. This is not going to be an easy one by any means. 46 yards out.
He has the benefit of a following wind. It is off to the side. The Cowboys have the ball on the touchback at the Dallas 20-yard line with 8 minutes and 8 seconds left. And with the score, the Dallas Cowboys 17 and the 49ers 10. Let's pause for a moment. We are reminded that last week Dwayne Thomas carried the ball 30 times for 135 yards. Today he's carried the ball already 21 times for 134 yards. And now it's Dallas from the Dallas 20. 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in the game. Cowboys with a 7-point lead. This is Garrison for 2.5 or 3.
On Sunday, January the 24th, the greatest stars in pro football will meet in the annual AFC-NFC Pro Bowl game at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. That'll mark the first time the American Conference stars will meet the National Conference stars. 7 of these players that we're watching today will be competing in that game. From San Francisco, Gene Washington, John Brody, Dave Wilcox, and Jimmy Johnson. From Dallas, John Nyland, Bob Lilly, and Mel Renfro. And all of them have certainly been outstanding today.
This is a 2nd and 8. From the Dallas 22. Here's Dwayne Thomas. And a tremendous play by Mel Phillips. Mel Phillips from the secondary shot through, and it was he who got his arm out and upset the brilliant Thomas. There's a loss of 3, and wow, 3rd down 11, and Belk is replaced by Hardman.
There's the tackle, and a very crucial tackle by Mel Phillips. And you just usually don't take him down with a tackle like that. Great effort by Mel Phillips.
Now let's see if the Cowboys elect to put the ball in the air. The clock running, 6:50 left. 3rd and 11 from the Dallas 19. Rucker left, Hayes right. And a tremendous catch by Rucker. Morton did a fantastic job, and he is down on the ground. Quarterback Craig Martin was hit by Cedric Hardman just as he released that ball. And a tremendous play, Morton to Rucker, but Morton is hurt. There you can see that's Morton holding his right side.
How he ever got rid of that ball, let's take another look. Cedric Hardman is number 86, coming around, and he hits Morton from behind, and Heineman hits him in the ribs almost at the same time, just as he got rid of that ball. You can tell he's in pain, but what a play he made.
Boy, you talk about a clutch play. Morton to the rookie Rucker. And there is Roger Staubach. And now the pressure shifts, apparently, from Morton, who is on his feet now. There's Craig.
You talk about courageous performances. He's had a bad shoulder. He's had a bad elbow. He cut his hand.
He played much of last year with a shoulder separation.
And he's been troubled throughout most of this year with a variety of different injuries. Yet he's hung in there. And although his statistics aren't all that impressive, Dallas is still in the championship game. Here comes Roger Staubach.
So now, Roger Staubach, who played at Navy, second year with the Cowboys. Now, that timeout was an official timeout. The reason? The player injured, Morton, did not stay in the game. Hence, that timeout was not charged to the Cowboys. It's a Cowboy 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 40. 6 minutes, 29 seconds left. And Staubach takes over the offense. Remember now, he's a scrambler. This is Dwayne Thomas, and a great play behind the line by Charlie Kruger, and Thomas loses 4. But the Cowboys gain about 30 seconds, and here comes Morton back in. Staubach just in for one play. Craig Morton is back in at quarterback on 2nd and 14. The time is so important. Less than 6 minutes in the game. The Cowboys are leading by 7. Bob Hayes lines up to the right. This is Thomas. And he gets it out to the 43-yard line, where it will be 3rd and 7. And Dave Wilcox is very slow in getting up. Belk leaves, Hardman goes in. 3rd, about 7. The clock is running. There's the time.
Going to be interesting to watch Ralph Neely, the left offensive tackle for Dallas this time, and Cedric Hardman, as he puts the rush on Craig Morton, or tries to. Hardman is 86, Neely is 73.
This is a 3rd and 7. The ball was tipped. It was intended for Rucker. It is 4th and 7. Jimmy Johnson defending, but I do believe that someone got a hand on Morton's pass. I'm not sure, but I think so.
And if you were watching Neely block on Cedric Hardman that time, you know he did a good job. Hardman wasn't close. 49ers are going to get it back now with 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
One of the reasons that the Cowboys are leading today is the fact that they have been able to cover their punts beautifully, or else keep it away from Bruce Taylor. Fair catch. Whitby did a beautiful job getting that high in the air, and the 49ers will have it at their 23-yard line. With a score, the Dallas Cowboys 17 and the San Francisco 49ers 10. Let's pause for a moment. Remember now, if this game ends in a tie, we go to sudden death. There will be a winner, and needless to say, we'll bring you every bit of it. All right, Gene Washington to the left. Dick Witcher to the right. 1st and 10, 49ers from the San Francisco 23. The catch is made, and a very short gain to the 26. Cunningham tackled immediately by linebacker Chuck Howley. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Time left, 4:25. Brody now getting close to the 200-yard mark. Exactly 200, 15 of 33. Same setup, Washington left, Witcher right. This is a 2nd and 7. This is Kwolek, the tight end, and he's close to a first down at the 33. He's tackled by linebacker Dave Edwards. We're going to have a measurement here. Leroy Jordan, number 55, was in on the play. Now Bob Windsor comes in, tight end for the 49ers. This measurement stops the clock with 3:54 left. Well now, 3rd and a foot. We'll have 2 tight ends in. Remember against the Raiders? 3rd and a foot. He sent Tucker out of the backfield, did John Brody, and hit him for a touchdown. Not this time. Whoa! I don't know whether he made it or not.
A tremendous charge by the Dallas defense. Now I wonder.
There was a loss.
If they did not make it.
It was a loss on the play. It's 4th and 2 feet. 3:41 left. At the San Francisco 32.5-yard line.
Could be the season, this play.
It sure could. Willard behind Brody. Cunningham to Willard's left. Fourth down. The catch is made for the first down by Dick Witcher. Herb Adderley made the tackle, but a first down by 2 yards at the 35.
Here it is. This is Witcher, and you talk about your gutsy calls. How about this on 4th and 2 with time running out?
And a crunching tackle by Herb Adderley. Less than 3 minutes now remaining in the game. Down goes Brody. He held on to the ball somehow, but there's a loss at 10 as Bob Lilly was the first to get to him. Now it'll be 2nd and 25 from the 25-yard line with that much time left. One touchdown given up by this Dallas defensive unit in the last 24 quarters plus almost 13 minutes of this quarter. 24 quarters, I should say, plus. Defending was Jordan. Intended receiver was Kwolek. It'll be 3rd and 20 with 2:27 left. And all of the skill and experience of now 14 years in the National Football League in the person of John Brody, and if ever a man had to come up with something. Now, D.D. Lewis comes in. Tom Stinsick comes in. Mark Washington comes in. Defensive changes for Dallas on 3rd and 20.
And against this defense, there is Tom Landry. And I've heard it said he's not emotional. What do you think?
From the San Francisco 25, Gene Washington made the catch. It is not a first down. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 38 with 2:15 left. And let's see. We have a timeout.
Here's Washington getting the double coverage. Mark Washington cut him down, in fact, at the line of scrimmage. That's some effort to get up and make a reception like that. Brody is checking with his coaches on the sideline about what this play should be. And in a situation like this, 4th and 7, boy, you'd welcome all the help and all the advice you could possibly get from anybody.
John Brody, 18 of 37, 221 yards. While this huddle is going on this side of the field, Gene Washington has caught 6 of those passes for 85. Meanwhile, Tom Landry on the other side of the field. Now that's Reggie Rucker he's talking with, the fine young wide receiver. Well, John Brody's back in the 49er huddle. And in a moment, we'll know what Dick Nolan and his staff have decided on 4th and 7 from the San Francisco 38 with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and the Cowboys leading 17-10. Incomplete at the 49-yard line. The intended receiver was Kenny Willard. And there is the veteran and great running back. I think he had his hands on it. I know he was hit. It was incomplete. And the Dallas defense has turned the ball over to the offense at the 49er 39-yard line with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. So 2 minutes and 10 seconds away is that long cherished dream for the Dallas Cowboys. Hayes to the right. Rucker behind Morton. This is Dwayne Thomas. And he gets it down to the 37-yard line. And we're going to have the notification in a second or so. Right here, I believe. Yes, 2 minutes left. With a score. Cowboys 17, 49ers 10. Let's pause for a moment. Dallas total offense, 301 yards, 69 plays. Breaking it down, Dwayne Thomas, 137 yards on the ground on 25 carries. Walt Garrison, 14 carries, 61 yards. It's 2nd and 8 Dallas at the San Francisco 37. Rucker coming in motion. This is Garrison. And he is collared by Taylor only after Garrison is down to the 20-yard line, and that is another Dallas first down. So Walt Garrison makes a big play.
A good cut by Garrison, a good block by Rayfield Wright, and the rest of the Dallas offensive line. Jimmy Johnson chasing, and that was Hayes that threw that block right there that sprung him before Taylor could get him down. San Francisco has taken one of their timeouts. Morton visits the Dallas sideline to talk with Tom Landry.
So it's 1st and 10, the Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 20-yard line with 1 minute and 46 seconds left to play in the game. And the Dallas Cowboys on the verge of winning the National Football Conference title and earning the right to meet the Baltimore Colts, who earlier today